Hello, everyone. We're here with Jimmy Sinclair, Rob Clue from the Hamilton Steelers, and of course Tristan Borges from forgefc. Here to talk about the new members kits, obviously inspired by the Hamilton Steelers. What does that mean to you as a former player?
I think it's very important that we keep the history of the club. Hamilton's got a great soccer tradition through the years, and I'm really proud that the Forge have come in and they're continuing our tradition.
Yeah, I just echo what Jimmy has said there. The tradition, the talent that's come through this city over the years has been great. And now that the Forge have recognized that and looking to honor that, I couldn't be happier.
What was it like playing for the Steelers in the 80s? Any big takeaways, any proud moments?
Yeah, we beat Udinese, the Italian club, the
Wow.
First Division Italian club. We beat them 3-2 down at Iverwin Stadium. It was a fantastic day. The fans mostly came to watch Udinese, but we announced at the end of the game, thank goodness. And we also won the National Soccer League triple in the early 80s. We also get beaten the first ever and only CPSL final. We lost 2-1 in Edmonton. And, so it was a great time for us.
So I played a little later than Jimmy did, and it was the CSL.
Okay, yeah.
I'm in that time. And my 3 years at the Steelers, my takeaways from us was fantastic. We got to travel across the country, all the way to Victoria to Montreal. Getting to play and meet some of the players on that league was absolutely fantastic. I was teammates and still friends to this day with Alex Bunbury, a Canadian national team legend, Paul Dolan, who played in the World Cup. So,
wow.
And some of the internationals like Brian Quinn, Amadeo Gasparini, Jerry Adzik. Just I could sit here all day and talk about the experience that I had with these guys. But just a wonderful, wonderful time for me.
Yeah. And so what years did you play again?
I played with Hamilton, Croatia from 71 to 75. We then moved to Italo-Canadian. And Italo-Canadian, the owner's Mario Di Bartolomeo, he changed it from Italo-Canadians to Hamilton Steelers because our league was basically all ethnic names, Toronto Croatia, Toronto Serbians, and Mario wanted to take it away and go more Canadian, and he decided to pick it up with the Hamilton Steelers.
Yeah, fascinating.
And that was from 80 to, I was there till 84.
Wow, 84. And how about you?
So the CSL started in 86, 87. I played 4 years. I played 88 season with Steelers, 89 Steelers, 90 with Steelers, and 91 with Nova Scotia Clippers.
Oh, wow.
1 year wonder team.
Yeah.
CSL.
Yeah. Are you both from Hamilton, born and raised?
No, I was born in Scotland.
Of course, you. Yeah.
I was actually born in Scotland also, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
I came when I was 11.
How has it been watching the rebirth of the sport in the city with forgefc and seeing the excitement behind
it's
it?
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
The talent, and I think probably, the Canadian talent that they have here. And I think I would imagine that, when they started, these players are just the fruition of this academy. That's the talent that came out of the academies.
Yeah.
Is starting to show through. I remember game one, you were there. And by the way, Tristan, I don't just say this lightly, you were the best player in the park that day.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
We had against York.
Yeah.
York United. Tristan was by far, it was just an amazing day that day. But the crowd was great. And, ever since then, 4 years ago, I started good seasons. And I compare it to when I played in the CSL. And obviously, there's a lot more injection to but taking nothing away from the CSL. But I just think it's the next progression, and it's fantastic. And to see players, Tristan got to go to Europe, to see players go and move on, which I guess is what the league wants to do. If they want to showcase some players come here to the game to get noticed and to move on. I think it's I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to April. I really am.
Yeah. No, it's going to be exciting.
I talk very highly because a lot of people were skeptical of where we were going. And from day one, I've been very impressed by the level.
Yeah.
I think it's very entertaining football. I really enjoy watching it. I try to talk it up as much as I can to different people. I still think we deserve a bigger crowd than we get, because I think, as I said, the product on the field is excellent.
Yeah, and you see it every year. It just continues to improve, and yeah, for fans,
this
it's
test of that, just to piggyback on what Jimmy said on that first game, where nobody really knew. Nobody really knew what it was going to be like. And, we come from a circle of people who think they know everything about the game and watch the game their whole life, and the reactions were very surprising. There was no negative reactions to what we saw on the field that day. So when you can win over some of the guys that that I know that look for something to pick at, then there's something, you're onto something really good then.
Because I've been in the game a long time here, and I've watched leagues coming and going, and I hear everybody saying, "Oh, when's the CPL going to expand? When we're going to expand?" I think they're doing the proper job. They're waiting till the right time. They're not pushing it to expand too quick. We've seen leagues fold because we're taking in weak expansion clubs, and then the next minute the league's struggling. Right? So I think the CPL is doing a great job and making franchises stronger and keeping it sensible.
I think for me personally, just having been a part of it since year one, and you look at how it's been since year one to now, it's very easy for a lot of people to kind of, pick at all the negatives and look at maybe what they could be doing or what the league should be at or whatever it is. And I think, like I said, just being a part of this league from year one to look at how it is now. And I think you can talk for days of how many positive things have came from it, whether you're talking about just opportunities for young players to, showcase, that have gone to other places, have been sold to clubs, have been playing minutes. And then you just look alone, just players that have been in the league and have been successful. I think a lot of people, they lose track of what being a professional is, not just in soccer, but just being a pro. And I think the number one thing is just obviously enjoying it, but competitiveness. And I think you look at around the league, you look at how leagues have been teams have been starting to get better. You look at the games, you look at the quality of the players, the coaching staff. I think everything is just growing. I think with everything, it takes time.
100%.
Anything that you want it to be done for a long period of time, it needs to be kind of done the right way, right? And I think the league has honestly been doing a great job. Obviously, it's in everybody's back of the mind, the World Cup coming up. So this is obviously a big year. But I think, you look in the grand scheme of things, you look at how the league has been increasing every single year. I think it's very, very positive, and hopefully it continues to grow like that.
And there's players getting called up for the national.
That's huge as well. Exactly.
It's huge.
Coaches being guest coach for Jesse. So, I mean...
it's headed in the right direction.
Right?
100%. 100%. So, thoughts on the kits? Special, very, very special.
Very nice. Very nice.
Paying homage to the Steelers.
I mean, it's again, if you don't have history, you got nothing. So I mean, to keep it, thinking about the past. I think it's great. I think they do a nice job of putting it all together.
No, they certainly did. They did a really.
I think having a third kid is important and it's exciting, but then when you add the whole part where you're adding history to it and paying homage obviously to what was happening before and kind of building on that, I think makes it obviously a little bit more special. And I think just the look of it, you see everybody's reaction already from it. The fans, obviously at the appearances that we've had, all the fans for them to even see, the players, everyone just kind of involved, kind of saying the same thing of how nice it is. And again, adding that special component of paying homage, to how the Hamilton Steelers were and understanding that, CPL is around now and is doing very well, but there's been times where, we've been trying to do that. Soccer itself is already a big enough sport in the world. And I think Canada is now putting themselves on the map. And obviously Forge has been doing, a good enough job already since the CPL has been around, putting a platform for a lot of players to kind of showcase what they can do. And like I said, I think, as the years go on, I think it's very important to kind of, look at where your roots came from and build on that and appreciate it. So it's good.
Yeah. And something unique for the fans, like season ticket holders will only get these. So it's, makes you feel proud.
Of course.
Makes you feel part of it, invested, and it's important for the growth of it. Any big hopes for the season? Any predictions?
My prediction is we're going to win something again. They always do. And they always seem to find ways of winning a trophy for us. And it's always proud moment for us.
Yeah,
It's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
The league is
Yeah.
it
getting
is.
stronger.
It is.
I imagine Montreal will be very strong. Enter Toronto will be
Yeah,
strong.
they're going to be interesting.
And then you've also got your Calgarys and Ottawas, right? So it could, did I love that we won 5 or 6 or 4 of the 5?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we saw last year that, we had 2 chances and obviously we came short. We had 2 chances at the end. And that's what the league needs, right?
Yeah.
As much as I'd want us to be winning every year, it's probably good that we, maybe get a little more burn to get to back to where we should be. Like our team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
and there's rivalries already, which is great. Expectation is go watch some good stuff and hopefully we come out on the top end.
Yeah, I think we will. I'm expecting every time we put these kits on 3 points. 3 points every
I
time.
hope so. Well, I mean, I feel.
I'm wearing it every game.
I know that would be. To be honest with you, that's kind of that's actually a little bit what happened last year. Obviously, having that win streak that we had.
Yeah, right.
We never wore the white kits. We always kept the orange
Kept the
ones to at
orange.
least keep the streak going.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's a little bit mixed feelings just because exactly kind of like what you said, where we've obviously been very successful. I think we've set the standard already, kind of what to expect from Forge in the league. But I think anybody that is involved with sports, players that have played, been around, and understand that winning is very, very hard.
Yeah,
winning is very hard, especially when it's a long season, and to do it consistently, it's something very, very tough, right? So you start to have the hunger from every other team, understanding, not only do they want to win the league, but they want to knock off Forge, which, it's a standard that we've set, something that obviously we're very proud.
Yeah.
And I think, as years go on, you kind of take little things on what's important. I think one thing that is very important is always just getting maximum points at home. I think that's something that we take a lot of pride in. We understand how important it is to be playing in front of a home crowd and obviously playing important games. We've been able to obviously have big games, whether it's MLS teams, Mexican teams, in Champions Cup. Ultimately, even though it's for next year, I would say a big goal is obviously being able to play in Champions Cup again. Yeah. Biggest competition that you could play on this side of the world, right? Playing against the biggest teams. As a player, I look at something like that, but for me, it's my thought process when I first came to Forge. Yeah. It's always been like this since I was a young kid, was I only care about winning. Yeah. It's always about winning. And I understand that it's very hard to win. Yeah. So I think as the quality continues to go up, the hunger from a lot of the players and the teams start to get even bigger. Teams want success, right? Mm-hmm. Fan bases want success. So it's just us understanding, what we're capable of doing. When you bring in new players, I know you guys know it's always, you got to get them gelled in. You got to get everybody under, the same page and all of that. But for me personally, it's exciting when the new season comes around. You miss playing in front of fans, you miss playing at home, and you miss competing, which is ultimately, the best thing to do. Yeah.
Tristan, for yourself, do you have any personal career goals for this year? Any achievements that maybe you haven't hit yet or hit before and want to do again?
Yeah, for me personally, just kind of looking at the season that I have had with Forge, I think the initial thing for me is trying to stay healthy. For the whole season. Mm-hmm. That's one thing, I'm setting myself to be prepared for a long season and get my body right for that. But in terms of just, performing on the field, I always, try to do as best as I can, to do what I can for the team, what the team provides for me and what they expect from me. And for me, it's always just trying to get double digits, whether it's assists or goals when it comes to stats wise. And at least I know that, if I'm able to do that, I know I'm at least, contributing as much as I can to the team. Yeah. We obviously have a strong team this year, a lot of experience within the players and a mix of the, young kids that have something to prove. So I think it's going to be a good year throughout the whole team. But for me, being in this club already for some years, kind of adding that experience year in and year out, winning some trophies and understanding what it takes. I think for me, it's just kind of just taking it day by day. Yeah. Go day by day, and again, stay healthy and obviously try to get some stats up at the end of the season.
Yeah, of course. So a question for all three of you, kind of a fun one. Who is the best player that you've played with, and who's the best player that you played against?
Eusebio, Paolo Rossi.
Eusebio, wow.
Eusebio. And against, too many to count.
Yeah.
Too many.
I would have said you.
It's a practice. I've known each other long enough. You know, there's so many talented players, and everybody, I think you play against certain players, everybody gives you a different look of what you class as a good, hard opponent.
Right.
Some people, you would say, technically are fantastic,
Right.
or just the professionalism is different. There's so many.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
hard.
it's a tough question.
It's tough.
I don't have a Eusebio in my.
Sebio, that's a special one.
Yeah, no kidding.
So there, in my Steeler days, there was a couple of players that I learned a lot from. Serbian guy named Jerry Attic and an Irish guy named Brian Quinn, who was sort of a settled in North America. Played in this, I think Jimmy would know him. Just learned so much, and it was the professionalism and the way they carried themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Players I played against, I'd probably say one of the two in practice, but I would probably, because during my time, the Vancouver 86ers were the team to beat, and a guy like Dominic Mobilio was just an outstanding player.
Yeah.
Outstanding player.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
I'm lucky enough to play against a lot of great players.
It's a bit of a tough question because I think as you get older, you start to appreciate, we'll say, players for different kinds of things.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll say playing with, just because I feel like he's well known around the world, which is why when I asked you about the Arsenal thing, Martin Odegaard, when I was in Head and Fane, he was one of my teammates. That was when I was on the second team, and he was on the first team, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a year with Head and Fane when he was on loan from Real Madrid.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that was kind of, I'll say the first time that I was able to at least witness a player, I'll say with his talent, but have a mentality that was a little bit different than everybody else's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he had that understanding that it's not just about talent. It's about, taking care of yourself as a professional on and off the field and how he carried himself. And that was kind of, I would say, my first view on how it is to, really be a pro and how to, carry yourself on and off the field.
Right.
Obviously on the field, he's world class. So that's already said and done. I think playing against, to be honest with you, there's been a lot of top quality players that, I've played against. I mean, just alone, even going against TFC when Bernadeschi and Insigne, I think those are easy ones to even say with that. I think you can even go across any of the national team players that I've played with when I did make my debut at that time. It's quality all around. I think playing against is a little bit tough, but for sure playing with Odegaard was one. And, I think having my years of growing as a pro athlete, I think, being able to at least play with Becker and grow and learn a lot from him.
I was gonna say we can't. We can't miss that.
Yeah, I think it's he's taught me a lot, not just on the field, off the field.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just like they said, I mean, you can name honestly so many. Even at my time when I was in Belgium, there was our number 10 at that time, Xavier Mercier. It was unbelievable just watching him play with the left foot and the right foot, what he was able to do with both feet. It was just like something that me personally, I've never seen. So it's just seeing him on a day-to-day basis, the things that he would be able to do on the training. It was obviously something special to, at least be alongside and learn from. So yeah, those players that I mentioned for sure are just some of probably the many ones at least I've either played against or played with.
Thank you to all three of you guys. I think we're all in agreement. These are probably some of the best kits the club's put out, and certainly paying homage to the Steelers is special. It's important, and they're fantastic kits. And thank you so much to the three of you guys.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate it.